Alright, beautiful people, this time you're going to learn about nested loop. Earlier you have learned a nested if statement where basically we have used if inside if. So same concept goes here when we'll have a loop inside loop that's going to be called a nested loop. So let me give you a quick example here. Let's say this is a for loop and inside a for loop we have another loop, and this is an example of nesting here, okay? This loop inside the for loop is going to be called as an inner for loop. So this one we are going to call as inner for loop, and the outsider one is going to be called as outside for loop. Okay. So we have two loop here, which is outer for loop. We can call it as outer for loop, which makes more sense here. So we have an outer for loop and then inner for loop. Now how they're going to execute in our C program. So let's say for a value, you'll go inside this for loop, this outer for loop, and then you start executing this. When the inner for loop execution is over, then you'll go back to the outer for loop again. So for every single value, you will come inside, and then this inner for loop will start execution. When the execution of this inner for loop or the condition of this inner for loop is finished, then it will exit from this for loop and it will go back to the outer for loop again. Now let me give you a quick example here. Let's say we have a data type here, integer. Of course this is something we're going to use, and we're starting from 1 as the initial value, and let's say it's going to run until 3. Okay, and every time we'll be incrementing the value as 1. That's also our outer for loop is ready. This is our outer for loop, fair enough. And now let's work with the inner for loop. This time we are going to give a different variable name, because if you give here I equal 1, it's going to be a critical situation, and of course there will be an error because we have already declared a variable named I, and we are coming inside with that variable's value here. So at the beginning we have I equal 1, and now that we are redeclaring the variable, even though it doesn't make any problem at this point, but when you will go inside, that can be a problem here. Okay, so that's why it's better to name the variable with a different naming here. Let's say j, and then j greater than less than equal 3 and j plus plus. Okay, so our inner for loop is also ready, and let's see what we want to do. Let's say here we want to print something, so maybe we want to print Bangladesh here. And what do you think what is going to happen if I do this? So let me just add a new line, and then let's put semicolon here. Okay, so now our nested loop is ready. Let's try to understand how does it work. So here I'm going to do some tracing so that you can understand what basically I'm trying to do. So again, the for loop start here. Let's say you have some code after that even, so we can put some code, doesn't matter. So let's say end of outer loop, end of outer loop. Just an example I'm trying to use here. Okay, very simple one. Now that our code is ready, so let's try to understand how things are working. First of all, we are at the outer loop, so this is where we're starting. Again, we have an outer loop here, and for outer loop the variable initialization I equal 1. So here I'm going to put like this, I equal 1, and of course the condition needs to be checked before going inside. So 1 less than equal 3, which is true. Therefore, we are coming inside the loop. I less than equal 1 less than equal 3, which is true, and we are coming inside now this outer for loop. Again, when we came inside the outer for loop, of course we can do something whatever we want, but then we have a inner for loop this time. So here now I'm going to make it easier for you. So now we are inside the inner for loop. And inside the inner for loop, we have the variable j equal 1. That's the initialization part. And then we also need to check the condition here, 1 less than equal 3, which is true in this case. So we are going to say 1 less than equal 3, which is true. And therefore, we'll go inside this inner for loop and we will do something. In our case, it's going to print Bangladesh. So here we're going to print Bangladesh. That's all. Now then, still we're in the first iteration, remember? And then, of course, we have not finished this inner for loop. Now we'll go back to this again, and you know what will happen inside the inner for loop. The last value of j was 1, so this time it will be 2. It's incrementing. And it's going to check the condition 2 less than equal 3 is true, and therefore it's going to print Bangladesh. Again, we'll go back in the third iteration for the inner for loop. So the last value of j was 2. This time we're going to increment by 1, so it will be 3 here. And 3 less than equal 3, which is true, of course, for sure. and then that's why we will come inside and print Bangladesh again. Then the next value of j will be 4 because the last value was 3 in our case, and 4 less than equal 3, the condition will fail. That means inner for loop execution is over. So we are done here. And then when we are done inside the inner for loop, we will go back to the outer loop again. Now last value for the outer loop was I equal 1. Of course, you recall that was something we have used earlier, and now we are going to change that value because we are coming back for the update. So I will be incremented by 1, and therefore the value of I will be 2 this time. It will check the condition for the outer loop, 2 less than equal 3, which is true, and therefore we will come inside again. This loop will be running 3 times just like before. So here I can copy and paste everything one more time, and then of course inner loop will exit when the value of j is 4, and it will go back to the outer loop again. So what I trying to explain you here, first we'll start from the outer loop and we'll go inside the outer loop body. We'll start working with the inner loop. When the inner loop conditions are failed, only then we are going back to the outer loop again. Again, for a value we are coming inside, it will run as many times as it's supposed to. When the loop is over, then we will go back to the outer loop, and when outer loop is finished or exit, then of course everything is done here. Okay, so again we will go back to the outer loop when the inner loop is done. This time the value of I will be 3 less than equal 3 is true. We'll go inner loop and it will run 3 times. It will print Bangladesh, and then next time we'll go back to the outer loop. This time the value of I will be 4, and 4 less than equal 3 is not true. Therefore we are not going inside even inner loop because the outer loop is going to exit from here. So it will print Bangladesh how many times? It will print Bangladesh 3 times. Okay, actually 9 times. So let me run and let me show you that here, and you can see it is running actually 9 times. 3 3 6 and 3 9 times. Perfect. Okay, hopefully things are making sense to you now. Now of course, what you can do here, if you need sometimes to use the variable value I and j, you can do that as well. Especially when you're going to create timetable, you're going to use that for sure. So again, this is very handy. The nested loop is very handy, especially when you're dealing with metrics, pyramid, and pattern printing, those kind of programs. It will be very handy. So try to understand how the nested loop is working. You can create your own program and then trace that program. Try to understand how everything is happening, how inner loop is behaving, how outer loop is behaving as well. Here we could use the variable value I and j. For an example, if I wanted to print the value I here, what do you think what will happen here? So let me show you. I equal %d, and then I'm going to print the variable I here because we have the access to the variable I for sure because we are coming inside. Okay, so what will happen this time? It will come for the first value 1. So at the beginning I equal 1 less than equal 3, which is true. It will come inside. Remember, you said the value of I is 1, and that's how you're coming inside the for loop, the outer for loop. And now it will run 3 times, but all the 3 times the value is 1 for sure because that's how you came in. When this one is done, so it will print 1 3 times, and then it will go back. The value will be changed. This time the value will be 2 less than equal 3 is true, and that's why you are coming inside. And remember, the last value of I is 2 this time, and this I will be printed 3 times again because this inner loop will run 3 times, right? So it will print 2 3 times, and then it will go back. It will be this time I's value will be 3, and then when we're coming inside, I's value 3 for sure, and it will run 3 times. So that means basically it will print I 3 times, which is basically 3 in our case. Then it will go back to the loop, and the value of I will be 4 less than equal 3, which is not true anymore. Therefore the entire outer for loop is going to exit from here, and then it's going to print end of outer loop. That means it's going to print 1 3 times, 2 3 times, and 3 3 times. So let me show you that. If I compile it, and you'll see the result. There you go. You can see it's working perfectly. Now here we can print the value of j as well if you wanted. So let me do that. So %d equal here j equal %d, and then I'm going to put a new line there. And maybe that previous new line is not necessary, so let me get rid of that. And here we're going to print the value of j as well this time. Okay, let's compile and run again one more time. So now you can see for the value of I, the value of j is changing 1 to 3. And for the value of to I, j is changing its value, so the inner loop is changing or running 3 times. Again, for the outer value, outer loop, the inner loop is running 3 times, so it's working perfectly. Now if you wanted to do something with this value I and j, you can do that, especially in the matrix. You will see that when we will do the pattern printing, it will be also handy. And in future, of course, let's say even in the next lesson, we are going to create a multiplication table, and you will see it's going to work on that as well, work on there as well. Thank you very much.